A group of high school students wanted to do something better than the standard don't drink and drive programs that other high schools were doing. The students studied what other schools were doing by listening to interviews, news reports, YouTube programs, and students who had been involved with or attended other standard programs.
It's great that other schools and organizations are doing don't drink and drive programs, but we wanted ours to be better.
The students came to the conclusion that their program would be a series of short movies. The movies would be spread out over time and would actually promote conversation among teenagers rather than just preaching at them. The students also decided to push out their movies on YouTube.
The biggest issue that we noticed after watching interviews of other students who'd worked on past events was that it was all about getting it done and not the deliverance of the message. It was like they didn't get what they were doing. They were just doing it because they wanted to do it or because the teacher told them to. It held no meaning to them or really the people around them because they weren't actually getting a message across. What we want to do with our project is really actually deliver the message, make it hit home hard. That way people understand that their decisions will affect other people, and the people that it'll affect are the people that they love the most.
We wanted our program to be available to anyone with an internet connection, and it was our hope that other schools would show off our program to gather discussion during the weeks leading up to one of their big events or assemblies.
We want other students to make a better life for themselves by making better decisions.
The focus of the film in and of itself is the aftermath emotionally to how this affected tons and tons of people.
It was actually really hard trying to make up a story or trying to create a story from nothing because I did not know how to do that at all. I know how to do video and stuff like that. I've never done a storyboard or planning like that. It was a really big pain, but it was actually really fun to do once you learn how to do it. And I would like to do it again.
When things happen to you and when things happen to you and your friends because of your actions and your decisions and the choices that you make, just because it ends for you, it doesn't end for other people. Your choices still carry on to your family and to your friends and then to their family. It's just a big snowball effect of problems that happen. That's how I came up with the name for the movie, It's Not Over.
We really hope that this will help people have a better life.
We brought in police officers that have worked on scenes with actual car crashes. We brought in firefighters. We brought in people that have dealt with going to houses and telling people, hey, your son or daughter has passed away in this accident. And it kind of gave us more of the feel of this is a real thing that happens and this is how we deal with it as the actual, this is our job, this is what we have to do. And it just kind of gave us a different perspective on things, I guess their perspective of it, how would you feel if that was actually your wife or husband that got to the car wreck? What would you do as a team to help your fellow person? And it put a new twist or perspective and look on everything.
We hope that other students realize that their decisions are impacting others too.
Of course, it's a high school film, so it's gonna seem really B-movie-ish because we're high schoolers. It's our first film we've ever done. But using actual people that do this, it kind of gives it more of a realism to it because the people watching it aren't really gonna know that that's what their job is. But at the end or in behind the scenes type stuff, they're yeah, this is really their job. People are gonna be wow, it's real. This is a real thing that they have to do almost on the daily. So it's gonna give it more of a realistic. We use the actual people that do those jobs.
Because we added a YouTube channel to our project, other schools are able to add in our own chapters and we're able to take ours down and improve upon ours as well.
At first, getting these things down for the project, we wanted to speak to the principal, let her know what we had, and just keep her updated on things. So I wanted to impress her. I wanted her to know that this new class, this first year class, was gonna do great things.
In recent years, I had lots of students who wanted to do something to encourage students not to drink and drive. So we were trying to brainstorm ideas of what to do to still encourage people not to drink and drive, but to get a message across. And the idea of a movie came about. I think during the planning stages of this movie, the students began to realize just what a big undertaking it would be. And even in the scripting phase, there were lots of ideas that were thrown in or thrown out, and how do we really captivate an audience? How do we get the attention of teens? So we really wanted to impact the students. And in the course of that journey, the students really became aware that this is not going to happen in one class period, let alone several class periods or even a year. It really kind of took momentum and started just snowballing into this really great movie that we're creating now. And I've had the joy of having about 30 students be involved in the pre-planning and scripting phase of this journey. Having the platform of YouTube is a great idea that I hadn't originally thought of. It was a student thought, and being able to reach students and anyone all over the world is a great idea, and it's very empowering to have that ability to use that platform.
This movie has helped me find my voice, and I also hope that it helps you find your voice.
In fact, we've worked on this project for up to 4, maybe even 5 years. We've allowed students to create. We have created the environment where they are able to perform and function at this high level.
The students have created questions to guide meaningful conversation.
And a majority of them were like, wow, you guys made this? And I think one of my friends were like, where's more? Like, we need to see more of it. It made me feel proud to be a part of this, that people actually aren't going to look at this and be like, this is a really dumb thing because high schoolers made it, but people are going to be like, wow, high schoolers made it, and it's actually a really good thing.
After watching each chapter of the movie in class, students discuss the questions at the end, and they're talking about the characters and the decisions that they've made. And it's at this point that I think the students really began to step outside of themselves and wonder, what if I had made these choices? Who in my life would be affected by the consequences of my actions? And that's really causing them to have a real reaction to the film. If your class would like to watch the film, all you need to do is click on the chapter that you would like to watch it through to the end where the questions come up, and then you can pause the film by pressing the pause button or by clicking anywhere on the screen while your class discusses all of the questions.
Well, the problem of helping young people understand effective decision making for life decisions is a very old one, and society has taken many approaches to try to deliver this information. In this case, however, it is students who looked at that challenge and said, this is the problem with what's usually done. What's important here is getting across the message without several layers of other people's opinions. And so the students crafted the message, they refined the message, and literally hundreds of students were involved in deciding what should be said, why it should be said, and how it should be said. Theoretically, it should speak very clearly to young people of this age. And practically, I think it actually speaks to a much wider audience than that. Well, I think it's pretty interesting that the students decided to use contemporary digital technology to get this out to the audience. And their audience is people just like themselves. So it's really not surprising that they chose YouTube, but it is a little bit revolutionary. If you wanted to speak to most high school students, educators would say, well, we have to have a polished production with high production values, and then we will put it on a CD and we will make it available to educators through some jobber, wholesaler, or retailer. In this case, the students said, we're going from our production capabilities straight to our fellow students. Anybody who has access to a computer that can reach YouTube through the internet can access this message. You don't have to have permission, you don't need encouragement, it's there for you. This is what people from the digital age have chosen to do, speak to their digital comrades. And it is, in a way, revolutionary, and in another way, very simply appropriate. It might save lives, and I hope it saves a bunch of them. I think one of the most exciting aspects of this effort is the fact that students came up with questions at the end of each chapter, if you will. It's one thing to experience an emotion, a situation to which you react emotionally, and intellectually, but it's another thing to take that reaction and integrate it into your own consciousness. It's another thing entirely to say, all right, I had a reaction to this, but what does it mean? What does it mean to me? Might it mean to others? And so these series of questions created by students opens the door for discussion, for a deeper understanding, and for a realization. If these questions create a new view of the universe for these young people, it will change their behaviors. And the fact that they encourage this discussion among their peers with their own questions from their own points of view means that these questions are more likely to be thought about and discussed, and as a result, have an effect on future behavior. Certainly, it changes the way you look at the world, and it deepens your respect for the humanity and the maturity of Americans' young people, I think.